It's me again, Demetrius Andrade, and if you're looking to take your fight game to the next level, try this, the Fighter Stack. Everything you need.
The first man to bring a world title here when you boxed Callum Smith in the World Boxing Super Series final. What's it like fighting in Saudi Arabia? What's the whole experience like?
Well, for me it wasn't ideal, you know, but I feel like you know, my Saudi fight was probably a bit tarnished because you know, I wasn't fit. I had to take off a lot of weight. You know, I had other problems. I had some issues with the tournament I had to argue with and such and such. But once I was here, it was sort of like just head down, get this fight done and get home. I was kind of in a rush to get home. Maybe I was in a rush to wrap up my career, who knows. So, but the facilities are good, the people are really nice, the food was good, the crowd, it was, when I was there, it really was the first time they'd ever had pro boxing. They didn't really know what to expect. Sometimes there was cheers, sometimes there wasn't. It didn't have that feel, but it was hard to put a finger on exactly what it was. But I mean, I'm sure that there's worse places to box. The guys have been out here. They're well equipped. They got their full teams, and they'll be ready.
If you were in charge of Joshua, obviously there was a big decision to be made with this rematch. Would you have pushed for home advantage, or would you have resisted the urge to come out here for such a crucial fight, knowing what you do about boxing here?
Yeah, I think I would have. Like me knowing what I know now, like what I've experienced. You know, I've had to come back from losses, and there's, you know, coming back from all my losses. The last time when I sort of came back and won the world title in the end against Chudinov, it was in Sheffield, so I kind of had home advantage over the guy who was Russian, and I had pressure off me because it was on the undercard of a pay-per-view as opposed to headlining. All them little things I think were an advantage. Now obviously Joshua can't do that. He can't fight on an undercard somewhere. He couldn't. His hand was, in my opinion, was forced into the rematch anyway, and he definitely made the right decision to take that rematch. He needs to go straight back in at the #1 spot. He needs to be world champion. He needs to carry on that reign. But home advantage would have been great. Obviously, it would have been a massive pay cut for him. He probably wouldn't have got much money at all by the time you lost that huge revenue that you get from fighting live in the States, or you know, and taking it to UK with Ruiz's inflated champions purse. Probably by the time you covered the gate and the UK pay-per-view, there wouldn't have been much left over. So coming out here is a financial decision which makes sense. But Ruiz has got to travel, which will be tough for him as well. But so have you. You've lost that advantage, and maybe it would have been best if he did stay in the UK, take that advantage, win, and then have the mega fights after. So you know, you can only really conclude whether it's a good or bad decision after the fight.
Eddie's been talking up Saudi, as you might expect, as a new real destination, new hotspot, and this as a beginning of something, or certainly as a continuation of what you started with Callum Smith. Do you realistically see this becoming a genuine sort of boxing destination, a boxing hotspot that can, you know, compete for a long time?
No, I don't. I mean, if it was somewhere that the UK fight fans in particular were familiar with, you know, if they seek local knowledge, you know, if it was in, say, Dubai, it's part of the world, but Dubai, where many people go there on holiday, you know your way around, you've been there on holiday before, loads of expats already living out there, that might have made more sense. But at the moment, the overseas shows, like whether they be in Monte Carlo, that's you know, predominantly residential, you know, it's not really a holiday destination, and definitely out here no one comes here on holiday. You know, I've had a look around, I haven't seen a lot of UK fight fans. There's a few rogue people wandering around who are either diehards or just want to say I was there for the rematch, but it's not catered for the usual fight night crowd and, you know, event and night out you'd have with your mates maybe, you know. And it's not just the drinking, you know. There's a lot of ambiguity about the rules and regulations here. They seem much more laid back here than when I went to Saudi last year. Last year when I came to Saudi, All the women were very much covered up, so not like full face covering, but you had to have your hair covered. You had to be in long gowns. It was, no one really looked that sort of westernized as such. So maybe this is a more relaxed region, Saudi, or maybe it's just relaxed this week. I don't know. So I think it's a great opportunity for fighters and promoters to come out here, and if there's a large site fee to host it, then it's going to happen. It's happened throughout history in boxing, and it's making a comeback now. The big nations are doing it to promote their region, but I'd like to say they'll be broke and spent all their money on this show, but by the rumours they haven't. It hasn't even touched the side. So yeah, maybe we'll be out here a couple of times a year, and really will become a local.
Just last one on the fight itself. How do you see it going? It's obviously a really tough one to pick. Where you sort of fall on which side?
I think it's Joshua's fight to lose. Because I feel that if he goes out and he executes his game plan, and if he comes up with the right game plan, he shouldn't lose. He's far too big to fight Andy Ruiz. Yeah, Ruiz has got sharp hands, he throws good combinations. He's a better boxer than Anthony Joshua, but Joshua's beat many fighters who are better boxers than him. Because he's so big, he's athletic for his size, he punches incredibly hard. He can be disciplined at times when he needs to be. He's got an experienced corner. I feel it comes maybe down to desire. I'm glad you go out on a limb and say I believe Anthony Joshua when he says he lives and breathes boxing and he really wants this. Because heavyweight boxing isn't about who wants it most, about heart and that. It's about concentration. Because if you switch off and you get hit with a big shot, it's not your heart that picks you up. You won't get up. So you need to stay switched on and focused. And that's not a heart. That's not a heart thing. That's your head. That's your brain. You need to be focused. It's hard to stay focused if you're not fully committed to it, like fully engaged with it. I've heard people, part of the Sky team, Carl Broch, saying that thinks Ruiz is going to win. Ruiz is going to come out. He's going to build on the first fight. He's going to let his hands go. Combinations. He can't miss Joshua. He knows he can hurt him. He thinks that Ruiz is going to win, but in some ways when I'm listening to him, I'm like, I can't argue with that. Like, a lot of the stuff makes sense, but I think Joshua, such a big guy, hits very hard. If he comes out and he don't give ground away and he pushes Ruiz back, Ruiz won't be able to beat him off the back foot.